So in the new JJK chapter, we just got to see Yuji get a massive power, but we also got to see Maki also not just fight alongside him, but also fight Sukuna, so we got a great gauge of where she lies, actually. But what would happen if Maki Zenin fought Plot G Itadori? What would happen if these two behemoths actually fought? And that's what we're going to be talking about today. And to clarify, we are not going to be including any curse tools for Maki, so this 1v1 is going to be a pure hand-to-hand fight, just fist to fist. With me today, I also got Blaziken. So Blaziken is a JJK YouTuber who makes amazing JJK content, such as reviews, what ifs, theories, just a whole bunch of stuff. So if you're a fan of JJK, you definitely want to check him out, and especially if you're a fan of Yuji, you know, he's been on Yuji since day one, so yeah, especially if you're a Yuji fan. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel as well. You know, JJK content, thank you, it's much appreciated. Alright, now to start off with the main star right now, Yuji Itadori, who's getting a lot of highlight. How strong is Yuji and, you know, his win conditions against Maki? I mean, I'll just start off with you, Blaziken. Hey, what do you think? You know, how strong do you think Yuji?
My boy Yuji, the future honored one. As we can see in the most recent chapters, Yuji has to begin to get an awakening. And we can tell from the recent chapter that Sukuna even commented that Yuji has seemed to be absurdly strong than comparable from before. Currently, we have no information to why Yuji has got so strong, but it gives us a good indication with one, his durability seems to have gotten increased. We had the brief moment where he had seemed to have blitzed Sukuna before, when he ended up behind him before he tried to hit him with a pole. And even still in his miniature team up, he seems to be able to keep up with Maki, who is an awakened heavily restriction user, showcasing that his overall stats has increased thoroughly since the recent chapter. Obviously, he's still the one punch man, so I can't talk about curse technique currently, but we are in the future. We will be expecting that future curse technique. But for those who may have forgotten because it has been a long time, he still has access to Black Flash, which can be hit sporadically, and obviously things such as Divergent Fist, which he can now do on control. Regardless of that, I think his whole base stats can be somewhat relative to that of Maki, being slightly a little bit less. Gives us a good indication to how much stronger Yuji has got overall, and I really think we should be putting him in big conversations against other youth. What would you think about Yuji?
I mean, I completely agree, and there's a lot of fair points to give him that actually favor him in this matchup and him in general. Think about this, he's actually performing a lot better physically than Jogo had against 15-fingered Sukuna, and keep in mind, this was before the Sukuna nerfs, so big point for Yuji right there. Second point is that it's very impressive that Yuji is actually keeping up with Maki, because again, remember, he did take that gut punch in the beginning, and he also did get cut up a lot, so you could actually make the argument, which is probably true, that he is very injured while he's doing all this, so that actually is very impressive that he's doing this. And I do think, just in terms of Sukuna fingers, you know, very controversial topic right now, as you see online, people are just going crazy with this, because a lot of people are saying it's this and that, but I do think at the bare minimum, he's physically probably 11 fingers right now. But yeah, it's genuinely just crazy. His physical stats are just completely off the charts, and honestly, you just love to see it, you know. And just quickly before I pass off to Blaziken, you know, he made a very great point actually when he was explaining how strong Yuji is. The Black Flash, I mean, imagine if Yuji hits a Black Flash right now. What would you think of that?
Currently, we can obviously infer with what we've got from Shibuya. And even if you use somebody such as Jogo, who said would have gone down to Goodwill Yuji with, was it 3 or 4 Black Flashes and a playful cloud hit, and then he got much stronger from that version in Shibuya, who Mahito took I think like 3 or 4 Black Flashes before he went down, and then Yuji got stronger from them and has now got stronger again. I mean, I don't know if Maki's tanking 2 or 3 Black Flashes. It's not really looking good for her. So I do think, obviously, with heavily restrictions known for their durability and physical prowess, Yuji, who has now become an even better physical monster, I think if he is to hit a Black Flash, with it being something that obviously can't be done on command, I think it will take a lot out of Maki. There'll be something that can be done dangerous. But even as a brief boost, even something as Divergent Fist, this will make him at least much stronger to be comparable to Maki's physical prowess. Meaning, even if you believe Maki can still punch much stronger than somebody such as Yuji, things such as Divergent Fist should give him an edge with it being reinforced with Curse Energy. So that can at least make up for the deficiencies of someone who may still be slightly weaker than Maki in just regular punch. Oh, how do you think Black Flash and Divergent Fist will interact with Maki?
I mean, listen, I actually did not think about that. The Divergent Fist, it will still have actually a pretty good effect of knocking his opponent, maybe making them a bit confused, you know, because you get the first hit and then the second hit will throw you off balance or just throw you off in general. That Black Flash, I mean, whether you think it's a 2.5 times increase or a exponential like exponent, so 2.5 to the power of 2.5
to the power. Yep.
Regardless, it's going to hit like a nuclear weapon. It's going to be like if Reggie had those nuclear receipts. It's just going to be absolutely crazy.
Yo, don't bring up that.
I had to shout out my goat. I had to shout out my goat. It is what it is. He was right. If he killed Megami, we wouldn't be in this predicament right now. He's a hero.
You're not lying.
People just couldn't see
Reggie
it.
was right.
Reggie was right. But Yeah, I mean, Yuji right now, it's just, it genuinely is incredible right now. And I will say, just to one thing to say, because I know you said that the Black Flash isn't something you can do at will. One thing I'll give Yuji is that considering... yeah, exactly. Considering his title as Plot G, I mean, you know, plot every fight, plot amps every fight, plot acts every fight. I mean, even the new chapter, you know, plot power up out of nowhere, no explanation.
Listen to this Yuji
plot
slam.
nerf on Sukuna.
You guys have to grill him in the comments.
I mean, then the plot help from Maki, and he still loses. Yeah, it is what it is. But the plot does help him with the Black Flashes. When the plot requires it, he will hit it. So there is that. If he needs to hit against Maki, GEGE will.
He will hit his Black Flash.
GEGE will write that in, yeah, for sure.
Listen, all I'm saying is the man that was chosen from the Black Flash. The narrator's words, not mine. That's all I have to say. So now, on the real, 100%, it is obviously Black Flash is something that's inconsistent. But for the sake of the argument, I'm definitely going to be throwing it in, and I think that's a major win con for Yuji to win.
For sure.
Because specifically, even if you believe Maki can tank 1, 2, that's still going to severely injure her. And even though Heavenly Restriction does have their healing buff, it's not like Yuji's just going to stand still. And even though Maki may be slightly fast, just from the simple fact that this chapter, she asked him, can you keep up? And he was keeping up with her. Meaning that Yuji's speed should be somewhat comparable, even without the precognition that Heavenly Restriction uses. So I do think he has a lot more win cons, and obviously, like you said, with Divergent, things that can throw Maki off guard and to put him in a far better situation. I want thing to clarify, because people are like, wait, what about the curse tools? Well, there's no curse tools, or then Maki's gonna solo. Like, what are we talking about?
It's pretty crazy. You know, I do think Maki is slightly strong. I think it's pretty close. I think Maki's slightly stronger. But yeah, if the Black Flash is hit, 1 wouldn't be able to, you know, just win the fight. But 2, I mean, 1 is already doing major damage. 2, 3 might be wraps. I can't even lie. And if he does,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, if he gives her the Hanami treatment back to back, oh my, it's over. It's over.
You see all this. You see how my goat was cooking. People are like, "Oh, Yuji doesn't cook." Listen, I don't care about all that. I'm here to push the Yuji agenda. Come on now.
This is Maki though. This isn't Hanami. This is no scrap.
Oh, my bad.
This is no scrap. But yeah, like that. Now you're here is it's pretty bad. Bad look for Maki. Anyway, all right.
Respect Mark 3. Said no one. Anyway.
Okay. Actually,
nah. I'm sure they're gonna cook me.
Yeah.
Listen, Mark 3 was very dangerous and it did a lot of damage to Maki. So, I mean, the fact that she managed to heal after amazing.
I have no respect. I mean, it's not a named attack. It's not curse technique. Bro was just going fast. That's all it was.
Name attacks. This isn't One Piece, bro.
Not a named attack. Come on. It's true though. It's true. And actually, one quick, I say quick, it's probably gonna take a minute or two, but just one quick thing I do want to clarify. But before we get into the Maki part, actually, it's actually just really quickly the Sukuna finger scaling, because my god, the discourse on Twitter, the YouTube community, the live stream, it has been madness. And I know, like, you know, Blaziken is a very smart guy, because you don't rock with the Sukuna scaling, right? The finger scaling.
100.
Yeah, smart man, because it's a headache. I can't even lie. Okay, wait, future Kaio here. So yes, this was actually recorded when chapter 215 came out. This was pre-chapter 216. So this was before the whole Ryu getting one-shot by Sukuna stuff, which, oh my lord, that is still high too right now. But I just want to clarify before I get into this whole finger debate, I do want to include that yes, it is actually just possible that each finger really is just super powerful. So it might actually be possible that Maki is just 3 fingers, Jogo might be 3 or 4 fingers, and that maybe even the special grades like Yuta and Yuki might only be 4 or 5 fingers. That is a possibility. I'm seeing people say that. I just want to say that that is something out there. However, like I do say in the video, I still actually believe each finger is exponential, and actually the stuff that happened to Ryu gives more evidence to this. So it would actually make a lot of sense how someone, let's say Ryu, who is stronger than Jogo, let's say Ryu is anywhere from, like, let's say 7 to 11 fingers, right? Whatever you think, whether it's a high or low ball, even if he is 10 fingers, Sukuna insta-blitzing him and one-shotting him would make a lot of sense if there is actually a 4 or 5 finger gap, if each finger is an exponential increase, because that's what an exponential increase is. So that would actually explain why Sukuna is so many times more stronger than him, even though it's just a couple fingers more than how strong Ryu is. Now I just want to say that because I actually still believe that. I actually do think that everything that happened with Ryu gives far more evidence for the exponential theory, but again, there are people who actually now think that each Sukuna finger is just 5%, and each just 5% is monstrous. It's just insane. If you believe that, That's fine. Just wanted to clarify since there was a lot of discussion now that the Ryu stuff happened in 260. Okay, now back to the present Kaio and Blaziken 2. Just to clarify, because I know it's a very big topic of discussion. Yes, this chapter really does, heavily clarify and directly imply that each finger, at the very least, it's not 5%. It's far more than 5% and is more than likely an exponential increase. The reason why each finger is not 5% is basically because if each finger was 5%, then that would mean the current Sukuna right now is at 1.5 fingers at the lowest, maybe even 1 finger, all the way to being 4 fingers at the very max. And the reason we know this is because at the very beginning of the chapter of 215, he says his output at worst is 10%, so that means at most, maybe it's like 15-20%. And he says this while he's just adjusting his body, and he's generally implying his general output. And of course, we know output does affect your physical stats. That's a whole other debate to be had, but Ryu and other...
Yeah, to build on that, that's a very, very good thing you said. Because a lot of people are saying, why does output actually affect even Sukuna current? So you do believe, I just want to briefly touch.
Yeah.
Sorry to cut you off. You believe that output does affect physical stats, correct?
There's like a concrete amount of evidence to just completely confirm it. So output and reinforcement both affect physical stats. Though of course output can be applied to curse techniques.
100%. Listen, that's something I was 50-50 on, so I just wanted to hear your clarification. Because there's a lot of ongoing community discussion on whether output actually affects your physical stats. So I just wanted to see your clarification on that. I'm still in the 50-50.
All I'll say is, no, it has to, because think about this. If not, that means Ryu's reinforcement far surpasses Yuta's.
Why?
Because, we're getting this. When they're both at 100%, Yuta physically can't hold a candle to Ryu. Literally, just from his shoulder tap, he sends Yuta flying, bleeding. Bro, the text-to-speech we get from Yuta is madness, right? It's not even close.
How did we end up with Yuta? We got some Yuta slander here, but continue.
No, I love Yuta. Listen. All I'm saying is 100% both of them. Here's the craziest part. Yuta, after that point, never contests Ryu until a certain point. Now the reason the reason people get confused, it's like I guess it's pretty obvious. I don't even want to say it's not that obvious. It's really obvious. Ryu is at rough estimates. I don't want to see these as a concrete, accurate rough estimates. Ryu is you could say from anywhere from 5% to 15% HP, whatever you want to say. At the very least, not more than 15%. Cursed energy 10 to 15%. Considering the amount of shots he had taken, especially from the thin iced missile, punch from Rika, multiple punches, a whole bunch of stuff, his own attacks. And as we saw, he's on Death's Door, low cursed energy, expanded the domain, spamming his curse technique even after the domain, and before it, he was low on cursed energy and he was on Death's Door. Whereas again, Yuta, keep in mind, Rika had just left as they started that final hand-to-hand, so that means his cursed energy reserves are at 100%. As we see, Yuta's healing 24/7 while Rika's fully manifested. He doesn't have to worry about cursed energy. Let's be nice to Yuta. Let's say 90% health Yuta, 90% cursed energy Yuta, when it should be 100%, versus a near-death Ryu with barely any cursed energy left, and they're even.
Interesting.
Listen, where did this even come from?
I don't disagree. Listen. Listen. I don't disagree with the whole argument. I'm just interested in people's perspectives. I haven't made my own conductive one. I need to go reread everything.
No, it's great, bro, because in the YouTube community tab and in the Twitter reply, I was getting so many people were saying output has no effect on I guess because it's people who haven't seen all the videos who are saying output has no effect on physical stats when evidently it does. The way it is reinforcement is something that's on 24/7. It's coating your body, but output is something you turn on and off. So it's while you're firing with each hit, so it's both of them boost physical stats in very, very, very different ways. And then they can also be applied to different things. So reinforcement can be applied to, let's say, making yourself more tanky. Output can be applied to curse techniques.
Is how you would use it in regards
exactly.
to correct.
So again, people. Okay, I'm getting too much into this. The point being, so this, but it's good though, but it's good we did, because there's two Sukuna statements. So the first, at the beginning of the chapter, when he says his general cursed energy output, so general cursed energy output is 10% at worst, so it's constantly falling. Then he proceeds to fight Maki and Yuji for the entire chapter, and at the very end of the fight, he then says, he says this after, keep in mind, this is only after he's been fighting them for a while. He says, when I try to attack them, and this was after the punch, my output actually falls even more. But he specifically says, cursed technique output this time for this, which means it actually falls beneath 10%, which is madness.
Listen, I don't mind. This is all from my Sukuna. Trust me, Gojo, you're a victim.
What that means is, right now, Sukuna's attacks are at one fingered Sukuna level, and his general cursed energy, so his general strength right now, so the general output is 3 fingers, and that's if you believe each finger is a 5% increase.
Right.
Obviously, we already know from the Jogo fight, Kenjaku says, I trust Kenjaku with my life, alright? I do not think he was lying Trust me, bro, even when he's mocking people and joking, he's never lied. He's never been wrong. Like, once. I
agree.
And the thing is, because like a lot of people are saying, oh, he's lying to hype Jogo. I got a lot of that in the... Bro, this tangent is... This is the biggest tangent I've ever had in a video, but fuck it. It is what it is. What it is. Kenjaku was being like trying to gas him up to take on Gojo. He wouldn't have said being generous. He would have said, at the very least, you're 8-9 fingers. Or he'd have said, you're a solid like 8-9 fingers. Yeah. He definitely would not have said generously, because now he's like, how do I even say this? He's just being realistic. Like, if he wanted to bait Jogo into fighting him, he'd be like, oh yeah, you're like at least 8-9 fingers. Yo, go fuck him up. Go fuck him up and get the cursed roll.
Even build on that. When Jogo wants to fight Gojo, he tells him you'll lose. He's like, there's no point you doing it. And he's like, no, give me the prison room, I'll do it. He's like, no, you'll lose. And then Jogo went and did it, and then he got humbled. So I don't think he would just hype them up for no reason if that was the case. So I agree.
We also know that that's him being generous. Maybe 9 is being generous. To be honest, I think at the lowest you could say 6. Realistically, 7, 8. And we also have Mahito's statement for a fact putting him above, at least in terms of cursed energy, above Three-Fingered Sukuna, right? Because Mahito says he's got like more, I can't remember specifically.
He says he has more cursed energy than Sukuna, but Sukuna's soul's on a whole different level.
Yeah, so obviously, bro, Sukuna got the soul hacks, reverse curse. Special. He's special. It doesn't matter. Sukuna's special. I mean, I know you think Three-Fingered Sukuna beats that's a crazy take.
Yeah,
people will probably agree with you.
Open up, Jogo. Come on now. You see the vision.
I don't see that vision. I know people see that. I know other people see that vision. Other people see that vision. Though. I know they do. I respect it. I respect the Sukuna agenda push. And the Jogo is a 100%. Fraud push. I love both of those agendas.
Oh, listen, I don't think Jogo's a fraud.
I think
Sukuna's him. That's
True.
it, you know. Like, people are trying to use all these fights as anti-feats for Maki and Yuji. No, it's just Sukuna's him. Like, that's the real question.
So finally, like, just to tie the knot on everything I just said, put everything together, basically, because I want like a 10-minute tangent. Basically, if you think Sukuna is getting a 5% increase with each finger, then you definitively agree, and this is factual, Jogo would stomp Maki and Yuji in a 2v1, no diff, which is insanity. So that's why each Sukuna finger is like a massive exponential increase. It didn't make sense why 10% of 15 fingers is stronger than 9 fingers, and it would also make sense on why 15 fingers, no diff, let's say 7, 8, 9 fingers.
I mean, even to build on that as well, one thing that we do have to clear up is the Toji statement that he is as fast as Three-Fingered Sukuna. The reason why this one just doesn't make sense is because if you think Toji is as fast as Three-Fingered Sukuna, then that means Three-Fingered Sukuna just struts all the way up to at least Team Gojo level. And I don't believe anyone thinks that correct. But regardless of that, what I assume Megami meant is the fact that the feeling of being blitzed was akin to somebody who had just fought, which was Three-Fingered Sukuna. Currently in that fight, we hadn't seen him get overly blitzed by someone in the same manner that Toji did to him. So because of that, the first person he's going to make a comparison to is the last person who completely bodied him in a similar manner. So it's a good example, for example, if I got into a fight with Mike Tyson and then I got a fight into Muhammad Ali, I'm going to be like, the person who punched me as much as this guy was Mike Tyson. Because that is the direct comparison I can make to being overwhelmed by somebody. So that is, in theory, why the Three-Finger Toji doesn't really make sense, especially with the precognition and all the stats that we see from HR, or unless you think Three-Finger Sukuna is just so much stronger. But what do you want to add to that?
Listen, at first, I had no idea where you were going with that example. It's actually a great example. Like, no, legit, it's actually a great comparison because, again, it's like if you're getting hit by, like, let's say you get hit by a semi-truck, or you get hit by maybe that's not, that's a bad actually example because there is actually a different, let's say you fall from like 40 stories, right, compared to if you fell 10 stories. You're gonna die anyway. It's like, you don't notice the difference. Maybe that's a bad example. I'm just coming with a bad example. I'm actually just gonna cut both of those examples. They were so bad. They were so bad. Oh man!
The story's one you're cooking though, because it's like the feeling you won't be able to differentiate what the actual speed is. It's just you're both dead. Well, in that case.
I guess so. All right. But yeah, to continue. Yeah, exactly. It's the same with the game Blitz. Like, all he says is relative meaning Megami Story has no idea, or he has no way to compare. And to put the nail in the coffin, so what Blades considers chapter 113, in the same fight in chapter 111, Megami then proceeds to say in the same fight, he's even faster than Sukuna. Toji's even faster than Sukuna. So there we go. At the bare minimum, he just can't tell the difference. In the same fight, he also says he's faster than Three-Fingered Sukuna, but I know people want to take into account the statement that was made in chapter 113. So, hey, where we go with that, you can go with it, but Toji being 3-fingered Sukuna level, again, that's like just maximum insanity. Just before we get into the Maki section, if you've been enjoying the crazy tangents we've been on, yeah, again, be sure to subscribe for more JJK videos, and also be sure to check out Blaziken's channel for a lot of JJK videos too.
Yes, sir. Subscribe when you get punched by Tomorrow.
You get punched by Mike Tyson, bro.
Yeah, Mike Tyson.
You fall off a 10-story building on that. Alright, now to get into how strong Maki is. You know, I got her being honestly at the bare minimum equal to Toji. I think she's slightly stronger because she's in her prime right now. You know, Toji's a better assassin, so they both had their advantages. You know, like if Toji was in the recent chapter, he'd just sneak Sukuna and just kill them, not just posing like a JoJo's character while she was like, what's up? Yeah, I do think she's 6 fingers at the lowest, probably even 11 fingers at the most. It's something really hard to gauge. I just love that Sukuna's finger scaling, you know, we just talked about. You know, she's strong as hell. Insane hacks, you know, she can see, she can grab the air, whatever you want to call it, we'll just refer to as air, so you know, the density, the temperature, whatever you want to say is in the sky. So her movement speed and maneuverability is just crazy. And yeah, she's just genuinely a behemoth. So I mean, hey, any thoughts you have on Maki that you want to share? Or, you know, maybe how she does with Yuji?
Yeah, Maki's a monster. I mean, obviously she's been hindered with not being able to use her curse tool. Now, even though with all the boosts we gave with Yuji being at least somewhat relative or close to relativity with somebody such as Maki, one thing that obviously Yuji does not have in comparison is the precognition and being able to react to things and sense senses and, you know, change the temperature densities and all that stuff, which will allow Maki a far better advantage, especially when it comes to reaction. This means things such as reacting to Mark 3 like they did with Naoya is still things that are pretty crazy that obviously Yuji has nothing in comparison in regard to an actual fight. Moreover, Maki has the whole experience of actual combat, being part of the Kukuru unit in the Zenin clan with people who do not have curse energy, are taught more combat skills. We also see Maki use sumo techniques. Her overall arsenal of abilities seems to be far more thorough in actual fights, meaning she just has an even bigger edge, even if she's still deemed to be slightly more stronger overall. So overall, it bodes really well for her to eventually be able to overpower Yuji, especially even if we go to things such as Volume 0 when she's teaching Yuta. She's doing splits midway, doing like grapples, like bro, she has the whole arsenal of ability. So I think Maki, just overall combat knowledge, plus the reaction, plus the initial speed, plus her being somewhat relative to Yuji but still being stronger, just has a lot more advantages in the fight. And I think the main weakness that she has to really look out for, like we talked about, is the black flashes and divergence they can obviously throw out on guard. But because if she gets hit one more time, and with the things such as precognition, she won't be as likely to get hit by them again, allowing her to maneuver. And one good thing that we also have to mention is the fact that she will have no curse energy completely, with not even having the curse, meaning she may be in a situation where in that open field she can hide behind stuff to cause Yuji to lose sight of her and be able to use sneak attacks and things to really gain a bigger advantage on Yuji.
Yeah, everything was just really well said. Maki really does just have a lot of special hacks other than just being physically strong. Again, everything Blaziken just said. It really is cool to see have all this as well, because considering she has no cursed energy, important note to make, you know, she can't do the black flash obviously because she doesn't have cursed energy, just in case there was going to be that one guy who's like, oh, Maki could do the black flash just in case of that one guy. That's why she doesn't have no cursed energy. But yeah, like, again, looking at the recent chapters, you know, kind of looking like Maki Zenin. She was actually she was looking impressive. Even after I said that, because she was relative with Yuji, so I guess that's like you can say that's a good or bad thing because Yuji was injured, but to give her some points at the very least, Sukuna the entire time only showed respect to Maki and only said she's strong. You're very strong, she's not a small fry. And then of course, most importantly, when Urume actually did the deep calm or frost calm, whichever translation you go with, maximum output, so not a maximum technique, just a maximum output attack, when he froze everyone and he tells Sukuna that he applied more of the attack to Maki, Sukuna actually says, good job, you should have applied more to her, heavily implying that he sees her as more of a threat. Yeah, again, you could argue Yuji's injured right now, or maybe, you know, Sukuna, you know, really does hate Yuji, you know, he's trolling him, he's laughing at him at the end of the chapter. I don't know, Maki's looking stronger because Sukuna was giving her more respect throughout that fight, and there were a couple times when Yuji actually gets hit a lot more during the 2v1, and Maki, Maki only gets hit once.
Maki once or twice, yeah. She gets hit with the punch And I think there was something when he counters one of their punches when they both punch at the same time. Those were only 2 times.
Exactly. And then she also well, I guess Yuji did take him. He did take them pretty well as well. But yeah, Maki just overall, again, maybe you want to say it's injured. Maki, it is what it is. She seemed more impressive, so always good to see that.
What I'm going to say is Yuji had his previous 1v1 and he called him strong there. She only called Maki not a small fry, not bad, and well done for trying to, just for some Yuji praise, because there's a little bit too much favoritism going on right now, even though it's the Maki. But one thing I also do want to clarify is even though Maki and Yuji were in a 2v1 against a really nerfed Sukuna, these are not anti-feats for either of these characters. In my opinion, it just showcases how strong Sukuna really is, which is something that a lot of people have been doubting how strong even 15 fingers is, because for the simple fact that the Sukunas and the Gojos are relative to each other. Of course, this 15 finger version is not, but it gives us a good indication for the anticipated clash of a 20 fingers Sukuna and a obviously full powered Gojo. So things like this, which could have undermined him more, would get some people to obviously lower his stock. And I mean, even go to last week when Yuji punched him, people were calling him fraud Sukuna. So it really just shows that the community love to be. Yeah, I know you're part of it. Toast, if you're watching this, you're part of it. I saw you, man. I was taking my screenshots. But listen, I think it just speaks volumes too. People are a little bit too reactionary. And for the simple fact that this is a battle shonen, JJ is going to show a lot more love to people in that regard. I don't think you should use these as anti-cheats for those 2 characters. Rather just appreciate that how much of a menace Sukuna really is.
Nah, I completely agree. I mean, especially, fraud Kuna side. I got my agendas I need to push, and I'm on that Gojo hype train, so there's that. But specifically for Maki and Yuji, just very connected to what you just said. It's like night and day how people are flip-flopping with how strong these guys are. Like Blazing just said, like with the Yuji being, this man is like 15-fingered Sukuna level. This man's gonna take on Yuta or something. I've been saying, I saw crazy takes after chapter 240. I was like, crazy stuff, man. I was level-headed. I was thinking, no, he's probably because he, again, in that chapter, he never damaged him before the nerf, and he was only keeping up with him, and Sukuna was actually doing a bit better. But then now we see in the current chapters, people are like, Yuji's a fraud, Yuji's 3-fingered. Like, it goes from the same people I see from the Twitter on live streaming community, same people saying, mostly the same people, like 15-fingered Yuji to 3-fingered, and then same with Maki. Before this chapter, everyone was saying Maki's at the bare minimum 11, 10 fingers. A lot of people genuinely thought she was a great match for full-powered 15-fingered Sukuna, right?
Yep, we were very aware. I had comments in sections of videos, people saying Maki's gonna beat 15-fingered Sukuna, and I didn't think you guys were just drunk. You guys were just not thinking. Like, there had to be something going on, bro. So now,
exactly.
So it just shows once a character gets a power up, people go straight to, oh my goodness, this guy is so we have to keep it relative and make sure that once you get even more information in regard to what is shown, you see the full picture and how it's been turned out. So that is just one thing to bear in mind.
Exactly, because again, like you just said, people don't have the full picture. People are just being reactionary a lot to what's going on, and it's just with Maki specifically, going from being this strong, this overrated in the community, one chapter is all it takes for people to say she's weaker than 3-fingered Sukuna, and then it's night and day. It's crazy, man. And Sukuna was giving Maki a lot of love. He was shouting a lot. I've never seen Sukuna praise anyone that much in a fight. He praised Jogo after the fight 1 time, 3 times for Maki during the fight. I'm just saying. Maki Zenin looking like Goat Zenin. Yes,
to be fair, Sukuna, other people he's faced are Curse Spirits and Mahoraga. That man can't speak.
That's true. Maki wasn't speaking at all, to be fair to him. So
okay. No, but I mean, check it out. He's comprehend. Maharaga's
that's true.
He ain't saying nothing.
No, that's true. I mean, it puts into perspective, because I used to think Yuta would have done really good against 15-fingered Sukuna in Shibuya. We even made a long time ago. We made a video on that. By the way, great video. Check it. Search Yuta versus 15-fingered Sukuna by Blazing. Great video. But it is crazy because now I'm questioning, would Yuta just I thought it'd be a mid to high diff, would he just get the Yuta fan, I'm not gonna say it. The Yuta fans are gonna kill me, but I'm already upset everyone.
He's strongest in modern day sorcery.
No.
Let's just say he'll cook, and we'll leave it like that.
Yeah, alright, we'll not make the Yuta fans angry this video as well. Yeah, I do think so. I know Yuji definitely has that win condition of the Black Flash, so it's not a guaranteed win for Maki. I just think overall Maki's slightly stronger, slightly faster, and then obviously she has hacks as well. So I do think, just again, like the video is, hand to hand, I do think she would just eat him overall. I mean, maybe more times out of 100. That's just me. She was looking really good at chapter. What can I say? What can I say? Sakurajima, she
How
was
many
looking
times
great.
out of 100 did you say?
If I had to say 60, 55, I'm not...
Yeah, because this is obviously, curse tools and etc. I would say obviously it's around 60, 55 to Maki as well. I really think it's dependent on how well my boy hits the black flashes. If he hits the black flashes, then we're cooked. If he doesn't hit a black flash, Maki, with just everything she got, would just be, in my opinion, too comfortable. But this isn't in a situation where, even though the person might be weaker, has a chance, he doesn't really have anything exponential or external to be have a one-up on Maki. Like, if you talk reaction, she's better speed, she's better physical, she's better. Like, she's just better in everything, but it's just slightly better. But in tandem with all those things and her obviously combat experience, it just makes her a far better matchup against him. And yeah, I think that just nicely rounds up to Maki Zenin winning probably 60-40 of the times. But the fact that we can say that Yuji can win 40 times against Maki is beautiful. Beautiful time.
Yeah, I mean, and we all know that, during these 40% of the times, the plot would kick in, the music would kick in, Gege's writing, his hand would set on fire as he's drawing the panels, and Plot G just hits 5 black flashes in a row. Because he needs to... I'll give you this. Give Yuji his plot niscience, he's winning 100% Gege, he's not going to let him lose. It's just... he'd probably still lose, even at that, but... It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, the black flashes, those 40% win time. For me, like 45% win rate for Yuji, alright? That's what I'm trying to say. In those times, Yuji's wins would be pretty solid. Like, they wouldn't even be an extreme high diff, because in those wins, he'd be hitting them the black flashes. That's gonna do a lot of damage.
Completely agreed. And like you said, it's more so the black flashes being the biggest win card. And even though I don't agree with your Plot G arguments, I do agree that
does.
It is something that isn't, unfortunately on command. So it's going to be very hard for him to obviously win that way. And like we said, Maki just got it going on. So she comes out with the dub in this scenario. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm very interested to see the new spawn of Maki haters, to see the old guard, the Maki crazy fans, the new gen Yuji who thinks he's a god fan. I want to hear this as well. Yuji or Maki, who wins, why not? Again, no cuss tools, as I said in the beginning of the video. Who'd you got winning? Let us know. And of course, if you did enjoy the video, be sure to check out Blaziken's channel. Of course, if you are a Yuji fan, you most likely are if you're watching this, check him out. He's also a big Yuji fan. He's got a lot of Yuji videos. And in general, he makes a lot of JJK content. Reviews, what ifs, versus battles, just everything. Check him out for great stuff. And of course, if you haven't already, subscribe to your boy, I mean, you watched this far, subscribe to both of us. Please, we both make great content. And of course, shout out to all the channel members as well. Much love. You guys are great. It's much appreciated. And yeah, that's pretty much everything. Take care and have a nice day.
Peace.